Robot vacuums are supposed to make our life easier, but they struggle with real messes. I spent a week testing the DEEBOT T90 Pro in every condition to see if it could handle stains, edges, maintenance without constant babysitting. Now, before I share the test and results, let's do a little background on ECOVACS. Now, they've been making home cleaning robots for over 2 decades, and they're best known for their DEEBOT robot vacuums. Their focus has been on making robot cleaning more practical for everyday homes, especially improving mopping, edge cleaning, and reducing maintenance instead of just adding more specs. And that brings us to the big question. What makes these robots worth paying attention to? So the first test is stain and mopping test. Now, most robot mops can wipe the surface, but stains are where they usually fall apart. So for this test, I'll focus on the kind of mess people deal with. Dried spills. We're going to use mayonnaise, wine, and ketchup. Now, the first thing I noticed while the robot vacuum was cleaning is the motion. Compared to part-style robots, it applies steady pressure and keeps the roller clean as it moves, which makes this feel more like scrubbing than wiping. On lighter stain, it did a solid job with just one pass. On heavier dried spots, it needed to do a second run. The ECOVACS T90 Pro uses a mopping system called Osmo Roller 3.0. It's very different from the normal robot vacuums that use 2 spinning pads. Instead of just wiping the floor and sometimes spreading dirt around, the T90 uses a 27cm microfiber roller that scrubs the floor like a mini washing brush. This helps it lift stains instead of spreading them. The roller also holds water, and it has 32 small water sprays that keeps the mop wet and clean while it's working. ECOVACS says while cleaning, the roller can wash itself and spin up to 200 times per minute while pressing down on the floor to scrub harder. So I think compared to normal robot mops, it actually scrubs the floor and cleans deeper, not just wipe it. The next test is edge and corner cleaning. Now, most robot vacuum leave dust behind, so this is one of the areas I paid closest attention to. I use powder along the walls to see if the robot vacuum will miss any spots. What stood out for me is that it actually reached much closer to the wall than most robot vacuums. It didn't just bounce off and move on, it stayed aligned and clean along the edge. So what do you think? Did the robot vacuum do a good job for edge cleaning? Let me know in the comments. So the next test is hair and debris pickup test. Now, hair is usually where robot vacuums start to struggle too. So I wanted to see if this one could handle it. I spread a mix of hair on the floor to see if it could clean it without getting tangled. Surprisingly, on the first run, it picked up most of the loose hair I put on the floor. So what do you guys think? If you're someone that has long hair, if you're someone that have pets, do you think this can do it for you? Let me know in the comments. So the next test is rug test. Now, rugs are another area where robot vacuum can struggle, especially when it comes to picking up fine dust and hair. For this test, I used the standard center rug and spread a mix of dust, crumbs, and hair to see if it can clean it well. On the first pass, it picked up most of the visible debris without any issue. I watched to see if it cleaned the rug differently than it cleaned the floor, which usually helps with deeper dirt. For the blast airflow, there's zero tangle. It uses the strong airflow to pick up dirt, not just strong suction on paper. It cleans carpets and hard floors in one pass. And hair doesn't get stuck in the brush and it stays quiet while working. The Osmo roller cleans deeper without spreading dirty water around. The longer roller scrubs the floor while cleaning itself at the same time. So you get smooth, streak-free floors even in big or very dirty areas. Maintaining this robot vacuum is surprisingly easy. I didn't have to babysit the vacuum or constantly monitor it. All I needed to do was refill the clean water tank once a week, empty the dirty water tank too, and dispose the dirt collector in the dust bag. Occasionally, I had to top up the cleaning solution, and that was it. The next test is voice command test, because this is how people start their robot vacuum. So instead of using the app, I use the built-in voice assistant, and you can activate it by saying, "Hi Eco, clean the studio." It recognized the command right away and started cleaning without me touching my phone. "Hey Eco,
I'm here.
come clean here." The next test is noise test. I wanted to see how loud or noisy the robot vacuum is. Now I attached a mic to the robot vacuum so you can hear the noise it makes while cleaning. So you guys let me know in the comments. Do you think it's noisy or is it moderate? Let me know in the comments. So next, let's talk about charging. Charging time really affects how smooth the whole cleaning process feels, especially when the robot is doing deep cleaning and washing the roller often. Now, what I noticed is that it recharges during its watch cycles, which helps reduce downtime and keeps the cleaning moving. And you can get up to 10% charge in just 3 minutes, which is really fast. It also seemed to manage its power based on how much space it had left to clean. And in larger areas, it didn't stop as often in the middle of the job, which is really great. And now it's time for conclusion. After testing the robot on stains, edges, hair, rug, noise maintenance, and charging, my overall take is simple. It's not perfect, but it solves some of the biggest problems people have with robot vacuum, especially when it comes to mopping, edge cleaning, and daily upkeep. If you want a robot that focuses on real cleaning instead of just specs, this one makes sense for everyday homes, pet owners, and busy people. Believe me, this is one robot that if you have, it reduces your stress of cleaning. And if I would rate this robot over 10, I would give it 8.5. So tell me, after watching this review, would you choose this robot vacuum over the present one you have? And also, if you want to get the robot vacuum, there's a link in the description. So if this video helped you, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.